Okay, late submissions will not be collected for anything moving forward. We have this portfolio, we have the makeup assignments, then we have the final exam coming up. Okay, so no more late submissions. The length for this reflection essay should be 4 to 5 pages, double space, Arial font size 12. Definitely make sure you at least meet the 4-page requirement. Don't give me 3.5 pages. Points will be deducted for that. Okay, you can use either APA format or MLA format, but the works cited and the other elements that are going to go into the portfolio will not be counted towards the reflection essay. So there is a reflection essay, and then there's the whole portfolio. The essay itself should be 4 to 5 pages in length. Okay. So what is going to go into this self-analysis essay? First of all, this we all know. So how you used, or this is, these are the goals of your assignment. So you're going to look at how you used numeric calculations when developing the quantitative analysis essay. So what is going into this portfolio or into this reflection essay? Basically, you're trying to tell your audience, which in this case is myself, and maybe another panel of professors if needed, how well did you meet the goals that were set for this course? I believe the goals have been mentioned somewhere here. I'll look at that in a minute. So your goal is to show what different techniques did you learn and how well were you able to implement in your writing. The actually 3 major things that we are looking for in these reflection essays is, number 1, your quantitative analysis skills. Okay, in this you will discuss your quantitative analysis essay. This is a requirement. You are required to use only 3 pieces of writing that you completed this semester as support to your argument or your point or your reflection essay that I met goals, and I'm going to use these 3 examples to support that point. But one of those elements, which is the quantitative analysis essay, is a required element. Okay, in this for this element, you will discuss how you learned or how you research data, use that data to form it into a tabular form, and then you used it to convert it into a graph, and then you further used it to analyze it and make your argument stronger, how your argument was strengthened using these numeric values. Okay, any questions regarding this?
I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
So for the works cited page, do we just list the sources that we used whenever we talk about our quantitative analysis essay?
Yes, you will cite whatever you use in your reflection essay. Is that your question? You're not going to cite anything used in the quantitative analysis essay. Actually, that's going to be discussed in today's video as well shortly, and I will definitely answer your question in more details. But the short answer is whatever essay you cite in your reflection essay, you will credit that source, you will cite that source. Basically, what are you doing? You're citing yourself, because this is your piece now, right? It's your quantitative analysis essay, so you're going to cite yourself, and I will go over that in a minute. Okay. The next major element that's required for this this assignment is you showing how now this is your second essay, the rhetorical analysis essay. You have to show through your reading, through your writing, that you now understand the rhetorical elements of an argument. You will discuss how you are able to analyze ethos, logos, and pathos in a piece from another source, as well as how well you are now able to use ethos, logos, and pathos in your own work. Okay, most of your quantitative analysis essay, what is that? Quantitative analysis, you're bringing in data, and bringing in data is what? You are using logos, okay? Logical reasoning, logical support. So you not only are saying, I was able to recognize these qualities or these elements in a piece that I read, but I'm also implementing these pieces now in my own work, and I'm able to recognize that I'm using them. Most of the time, students use them, but they don't recognize that they're doing it. So whenever you're using logic, whenever you're using numeric data, you are using logos, okay? You can bring in those examples to support your point that now I'm a strong arguer, basing my argument in logical reasoning. Same way ethos. If you researched strong, which you guys did, you guys all did academic research, and you were required to add attribution tags where you made sure your author was a skilled writer, a well-known expert in the field. So what is this? This is you bringing in ethos into your work. So when you discuss ethos, you can talk about that how now you were able to, one, see ethos in the article that you read, and then two, implement ethos into your own work by adding work from experts in that field. And here's where you will cite an example. Every time you make a point that I'm able to do this now, or I was able to better my skill, most of you already had these skills, but now if you were able to better those skills, you will discuss that by supporting it with an example coming from your own work, okay? So ethos, logos, and pathos, this is also a must. It should be discussed in your paper. We also learned refutation and concession. So understanding counter argument and bringing it into your own arguments is another skill. If you didn't learn it in this class, you at least were able to implement it and strengthen it if you already knew this from before coming to this class. So that's another point you might want to make. These are the points we're looking at, okay, when we are reviewing your reflection essays. Don't just, do the assignment to just be done with it. Bring these points across. It will make your argument stronger. It will make you your assignment stronger, okay? So discuss how you learned about counter-argument, how in your work you maybe refuted a piece, or maybe you conceded with the piece. Share your examples and strengthen your argument. What else? Let me see. I don't think I put down anything for notes regarding that. Let me go over this list now. How you use numeric calculations, we discussed that. You will bring in your quantitative analysis skills and show that you use logos. Not only that you'll show this will be quantitative analysis example can be used in two different ways. One is where you have to discuss this actual assignment, showing that I'm able to recognize data, collect it, convert it into a visual, analyze it, and then use it to strengthen my argument, okay? That's one. Second, if you don't want to use this essay and you want to use your third essay, the ethical issues, proposal essay, that's fine as well, as long as you're showing that here's where I'm using logic or logos, you will use that. If you can't find that, then you've already used numeric data here, you might be able to use this as an example as well. So you will show knowledge of ethos, logos, and pathos, how it helped you recognize the rhetorical elements in work of other people and how you were able to use it in your own work. We already discussed that. We will go over that. How conducting academic research helped you write stronger and well-supported arguments. This is your ethos, okay? You can, again, this can also be used in two different ways. One, you can talk about how, I know there were some students who had never done database research before. Now you did it, right? Now you know something about it. So brag about it, talk about it, how you are a better researcher now, how you were able to recognize academically scholarly sources versus popular sources. Show examples of how you use academic research in your own work. And the second way you can use this skill is, again, to show ethos, okay? Because you're able to conduct research, find strong sources, you are now able to support your sources or your argument rather with these sources to show that you are backing up your work with evidence coming from reliable sources, from experts. Okay. Next, it's saying is, yes, adding strong attribution tags and in-text citation. This is another important skill most of you learned, or if you didn't learn it in this class, at least you were required to implement it in this class. And I'm telling you, I have been lucky enough to have very good writers, and every time this good piece of writing, it is one that is supported with these steps, with all these points. You have strong attribution tags, you have the parenthetical citation. Now let me remind you, what is an attribution tag? Attribution tag is where you not only just take a source and write about it, but you take a minute to read or find out who the author is, what are their credentials, and then you bring in those credentials to show that I'm not just talking about any Joe Henry, whoever on the street, but no, I'm talking about this person who is very well learned in this field, is an expert in this field, has been working in this field for a while. So that was a strong technique we need to discuss in this paper as well. And while discussing this, you might even want to throw an example where you used a good, not might, you should throw in an example of a good attribution tag you used in this class, okay? How systematic study of choices, action, and consequences help you make ethical decisions. This is your ethical issue proposal essay that you will use, for example, to support how you used your decision-making skills in making a moral decision when you wrote that ethical issues essay, okay? How concession and repetition helped you strengthen your argument. We already did that. And what else? Let's see, important elements. Any questions regarding these elements before I move forward? Okay, seems like no questions. The other important elements, so these are the main parts that I will be looking for in your essay and you should implement. Now, you might not implement all of them. I would say try to implement all of them, because all it shows is that you become a better writer. You're strong, not just saying I'm strong, but you are strong because of A, because of B, because of C. Thesis statement is another thing mostly students want to discuss. They want to show if they improve their skill of writing thesis statement. They want to talk about any skill that you think you came in with and either improved it or absolutely learned it for the first time is something you want to talk about, okay? All of that will go in this, and I had a thought, lost it. Anyway, so other elements include use at least 3 major pieces of your writing. This is the minimum. You are allowed to use more than that. Don't overdo it, but definitely support every time you share a new skill, okay? Every time you share a new element in your own writing. So share an example, and every time you share an example, it is coming from a source, from your own piece. So that's where you will meet these 3, the requirement of 3 sources. If you use more, that's fine, as long as you cite them all in text as well as in the works cited. Use the feedback I've provided on your papers to show how you were marked for a certain error, or a certain recommendation was made on your paper, and then you use that to improve your next piece of writing. That's the idea, is to see improvement. The idea is to see growth, okay? So whatever makes you show that you did see growth, and this is how it shows growth. That's what the whole assignment is about. So use that feedback I provided to see if you find something there that you can share in your paper to show your growth, okay? Here are other elements. I'm going to skip over these and make sure you read them. I'm focusing next on add in-text citations, and I want to go over this because This is kind of an example of the question that was asked to me. The question was regarding works cited page, but not only are you citing your sources in your works cited, you're also adding into citations. So let me bring my keypad here. So let's look at it. I don't know why I didn't do this before, but hold on. Go back. Right there. So every time you share a piece of writing from this class, add a parenthetical citation. And in the parenthetical citation, you will provide your last name and the shortened title of the paper being cited in quotation marks. Okay. Type of paper, a period after the title, type of paper, and the page number. Well, it says failure to meet this requirement will result in an F on this assignment. So be careful how you do that. I did not provide an example here. Let me see if an example is provided. I'm sure there is one provided somewhere later in this assignment prompt. I will go over it. If it's not there, I will show you an example from the sample essay. Or even if I by chance forget the sample essay is there, look at that. How is that citing its sources? Okay, so your last name, shortened version of the title of the piece you're citing from. What type of paper was it? Like let's say Q assignment, or it was a rhetorical analysis essay, and then the page number. Now, the question about the page number that comes is also what page number do I put on the works cited or on the within the parenthetical citation? Is it the original page number I gave it? No. So basically for the portfolio, which is again I'm going to discuss it later, you will be given a format. There has to be a title page, and then the table of contents, and then the reflection essay, and then the title page for that, and then every piece you're going to use in your essay has to be all on one document, one Word document. Okay, so when you put this on a Word document, now Word is going to, when you add a running header, is going to give you a page, new page number for all these documents you have in there, or all these essays you have in on that one document. So now you're going to use that particular number, the new number, this new file is going to give you is what's going to go in this parenthetical citation. Okay. Is that clear? Any question?
So I don't know if I caught this right, but do we have to put our entire essay into our new one?
Yes, yes. And I will go over that in a minute, because I'm sure I have discussed at least a table of contents later, and I will go over that in a minute, okay? Yes, the answer is yes. So you have your title page, your table of contents, your reflection essay, the works cited page just for the reflection essay. Then let's say your quantitative essay. Yes, you're copying the whole essay without the one that's without my comments. I don't want to see the comments. I want to see a fresh copy or the original copy that you had submitted. So paste that into this particular document, reflection essay with the works cited page. Next, I have the rhetorical analysis essay. I'll take that, I'll paste that again with its own works cited page and everything. And now when I did that, or when I do this, Word will automatically give you new page numbers, and that's what you will use in your parentheses. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a note here. It says, do not discuss your actual numeric or alphabetic grade. Discuss your growth and learning process in general. I know your grades. I need to see what you learned from the various writing assignments you completed this semester. So what happens is sometimes the students, most of the time, students see growth only by numbers or by grade, okay? I made a 85 on my first essay, but I made a 82 or 80 on my third essay, so I didn't grow maybe. That's not true. First thing is, I don't want to see your grades. I know them. They're in multiple areas that they've been documented on my computer in different files. I know all your grades. Don't discuss your grades. Don't measure your growth by grades, okay? Your first assignment was entirely different from what your second assignment was. The third assignment was different from the first and second assignment. With each assignment, you were taught a different skill of argumentation. By the final assignment, You were expected to use the skills learned from the first, second, and third assignment into this assignment, but this final assignment, which I'm referring to the ethical issues proposal essay, had its own new elements to it, right? You were now proposing a solution. You were now discussing the moral values of the topic or of the argument that went with the topic that you were discussing. So each assignment was different. So don't base your judgment on the grade, okay? If you improved your grade, very good. I still don't want to hear that, hey, I started with a 78, but I'm ending with my final essay, I have an 88, and yes, I'm showing growth. Yes, maybe you are. Yes, you are showing growth. Now, what is it that made your 78 grade go to an 88? What is it that made that change? Of course, you did a better piece of writing, right? So discuss that, all right? And let's look at this. We're talking about introduction, and it says it should contain an analytical thesis in the form of a claim that clearly argues your position on how well you have met the course objectives, especially focusing on how well you implement logos, ethos, and pathos, okay? But I don't want you to limit to this. I think this actually, somewhere in the prompt it must have mentioned it, or this needs to be changed a little bit, because there's a lot of emphasis also on the quantitative analysis skills. So put that also, that is a must. I must see ethos, logos, and pathos. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily these words need to be in your thesis, but these skills that you learn have to be shown within your thesis and then in the paper. Quantitative analysis skills, rhetorical analysis skills, which include ethos, logos, and pathos, ethical and proposal writing skills. And then we actually did different genres as well. We did op-ed writing, we did professional letter writing and all that. If you feel like you want to throw that in, that is also okay with me. That's also an option you can go towards. The body of the essay should include both the presentation of your position along with the opposition and a rebuttal. What does that mean? Now, when you had a topic that you researched, there's of course opposition to that. Now I'm not writing a research-based essay. What is the opposition to me? What am I refuting in this? So basically what you're doing is you are not only going to say, obviously we're not perfect. Even us as professors, as doing this for a long time, we rely on editing, we rely on peer evaluations. I'm currently in a process of submitting a grant proposal, and we are a team working together. I was currently writing feedback on this proposal as to we can add this, we can do this. So what is this? What I'm saying is together we can be stronger, but everybody has areas that can still use improvement. There's never you can be, you can reach perfection. There's always room to learn more, okay? So keeping that in mind, you will discuss that I learned this, I improved this, I did this better, but at least also you will look up and generally think about it. Is there a skill that still needs improvement? Okay, I understand how to maybe refute, but I'm still weak on concession. I still don't quite understand it. I understand the definition, but I need to learn more about this skill. So this is kind of you bringing in refutation, okay? That I have improved, but there's room for more improvement, okay? So let's scroll. In text citations, here's the example I was referring to. So your last name, period, shortened version of your title, followed by a period, and all of this in quotation marks, type of paper and page number. Let's look at the example. Sean Tillman, that's the last name, followed by a period. This is the shortened version of the essay. It seems to be an essay that used an abbreviated version. I'm not asking you to abbreviate your title, but shortened version. You can do just a couple first words or whatever, as long as I'm able to go into the works cited page and find the article, okay? Find your paper rather. So in quotation marks, and then this one says first draft and page number 3. There should be a period here, and first draft is not enough because I don't know first draft to what. So you have to say first draft or rough draft, QA essay, or whatever. I don't really want you to choose your drafts, but it's up to you. I can't limit you. But let's say you used your quantitative analysis essay, so you will just say QA essay and period, page number. It cannot be 3 because we have at least 5 pages of our reflection essay, and then the works cited, so that's at least 6 pages. I'm going to randomly give it page number 9. Okay, so that's how you will do your in-text citations. Any questions? I did have to make some changes on the fly, so any questions regarding this? Okay, so now the question about the works cited page was what's going in the works cited list. So in the works cited list, you will use this exact format. In the first initial citation, you will provide your information, and then let me read from here, and then I'll go with the example. It says provide the author's name in the last name. It should be and. Provide the author's name and the last name. Oh no, okay. Provide the author's name in the last name, first name format for the first entry only. Sorry about that. For each subsequent entry by the same author, use 3 hyphens and a period. So because all the work is your own work, you will be the same author for all the entries. So the first time you will provide your last name, comma, first name, period, and then in alphabetic order, the first title of the article that you wrote, the essay that you wrote. This time you're providing the full title, whatever type of paper it was, comma, page number, and then the date, okay? This is done only for the first entry. Every entry followed by this first one, remember this is got the indentation, what's it called? Help me out. No, not abbreviated.
Hanging indent.
Hanging indentation. Thank you. So you do that, and then following, you will have 3 hyphens followed by a period, and then the title of the next essay, period, and then the information of what type of assignment this was, and when you completed this assignment. Sorry, this is not your page number. This was the date. Okay, so date. All the information you need is title, type of paper, and then the date. Okay. Any questions now? Don't be confused when you, let's say you cite, you're showing ethos in your reflection essay, and you cite yourself using another author's work. Not only are you citing your own piece now, but you're citing quotation you used within your paper, right? You can do that, but still in the parentheses, you will credit your essay. It's kind of like how we did the QTD in the indirect quotes. It's kind of like that, but just be certain you have to credit your essay because that's what you're citing, that's what you're using, okay? In the works cited page, nowhere do I need the original sources or nothing. This is it. If I need to get to the original sources, that's where your original essays are in the same portfolio. I will be able to scroll down and get to it, okay? That's why it is important to have all your essays in one document. Content of the portfolio, you will have a title page. It will be followed by table of contents, and I think I have an example of table of contents. It's right there. I used to have a sample of the whole essay. I don't know, or whole portfolio. I don't know why it's not here. Maybe it is in the sample reflection essay that I've shared online. So table of content, basically you will list everything beyond the work site. Sorry, the title page is not added in the table of contents, and the table of content itself is not added in the table of contents. So you start with the first piece, which is your reflection essay. Item 1. Number 2 is the works cited that relates to the reflection essay. Then the first essay, the second essay, the third essay, or whatever assignment you want to use. If you want to use a draft, that's fine. If you want to use a professional letter, that's fine. You do have to use your rhetorical analysis essay and your quantitative analysis essay, I would say, as well as your op-ed proposal essay. Okay, so in this way, whatever the new numbers you receive with the new document, you will list them here. That way, when I go to page 17, it better be the proposal essay. Okay, so back up here. Table of content, then your reflective self-analysis argument, 4 to 5 pages long, followed by a works cited. We already discussed what's going to go in the works cited piece. Support your claims with evidence, cite your sources. 3 essays is the minimum requirement. And one of these essays should be the quantitative analysis essay. This is a required element. And this says the final product should be submitted as a single Microsoft document. One document. It shouldn't be like you giving me a zip file. No, I'm not asking for a zip file. I'm asking you one Word document with everything on it. Okay, there are more details in here. Please take your time to go through all these, and let's see. I think that concludes my breakdown of this assignment. Any questions related to this assignment?